firstly, Kate, congratulations.
Thank you.
My goodness, of your beautiful little baby and your beautiful, powerful experience.
Thank you.
And I've seen you even getting into like supporting other women when they're going past their due dates and stuff. So
Yeah.
like for me, that's so wonderful and heartwarming.
Thank you.
And to hear and to read when I see like, on the Facebook group and stuff, because there's so many women struggling.
Oh, it's unbelievable, isn't it? It's so scary as well what those, medics try and dictate to us, isn't it?
Absolutely. And I literally believe it's an induction. Let me just turn this off. I genuinely believe that it's like an epidemic, that induction is an epidemic. And it's like, I think just based on the women who've come to my pregnancy, yoga and hypnobirthing, I would say well over 60%, maybe even more, are being offered induction. I find that scary. If you include cervical sweeps and everything, then that goes even higher. So anyway, would you like, firstly, I want to find out how you're doing now. Since you've had your baby, how's it going? How's your postnatal period been?
Fine. Tricky, I think. It's probably the best. I've got a 3-year-old, as you know. So balancing and juggling both of the girls, and she's a girl as well. So but juggling both their needs is quite hard. Margot, she's 6 weeks old now, and she feeds every hour to hour and a half. I'm breastfeeding. And that's really difficult with a 3-year-old, who decides that when you latch your baby on and mommy, I need this, mommy, I need that. And so but thankfully Margot sleeps through the night.
Oh my goodness, that is a blessing.
She settles by 10 p.m. and generally doesn't wake until 3 o'clock. So I'm getting 5.
Wait, Margot's a baby?
Margot's the baby.
Oh my goodness, that's amazing.
Yeah. Wow. So I'm getting a solid, 5 hours. And what I've started doing is that last feed at sort of 9:30, 10 o'clock. I come upstairs and like feed her and put her to bed, if you like. So I go straight to bed then as well, even if I'm not tired, because I think, I need to grab the sleep while you can, don't you?
Oh, that's really good. That's definitely, and then at least you're counting your blessings, because they're all those things that we're going to struggle with, and all those things that, and it is difficult when you have that newborn and that toddler. It is quite a new experience. It's such a different experience from when you have one baby and you focus everything on them. Sometimes you feel as though it's the older one that needs more attention, isn't it? And more reassurance.
Definitely.
And then you feel guilty because the younger one, you feel like, I haven't given this one as much attention as I did the first. And it's this like thing. But in the end, I think you could only do your best. And
last night, like last night, for example, bedtime for the 3-year-old, she wanted me to read her stories and she was messing around. And I said to her, look, if you want a story, you need to have it now, because Margot's going to cry in a minute. And as predicted, Margot did. And then my other daughter got upset because I couldn't finish reading the story because I needed to feed Margot. It's really hard.
It is. Oh my God, I know. I remember it very, very well. And it is a juggle. I think one of the things that helped me the most was to try to, I feel like when you have a second one, a younger one, suddenly your first looks really old. You look at your first as you forget that they're still a baby. And it's funny because my youngest now is 2 years old, and he, by the time my eldest already had a younger brother at 2, and I look at him and we still call him the baby, and I just think, my goodness, it's so hard to remind yourself, because they're so much bigger than the baby, that they're still a baby with needs. And sometimes when you look at them like that, and then you feel like, and you're just acting, you're just doing your 3-year-old thing, but Definitely. It is hard, and as a mom it's hard, and I think it's one of the hardest things that we do have to, but siblings is rewarding. There's pros, there's definitely lots of pros, especially after this first year. I personally found the first year challenging, and when baby number 2 starts catching up, then they start playing together.
That's it. Yeah.
Amazing. But so we could talk more about postnatal afterwards if you like, and more like if you need any support or anything. But let's talk about pregnancy and birth. Because okay, so just recap. We did hypnobirthing together. So I did a private hypnobirthing course with you. I came to your home, and we did 4 sessions. I think we did 4 sessions with you and your husband. And this is just my observation. I remember the first session, and when we first met, I remember you realizing that you were still holding on to a lot from your first birth. You know, there was some trauma there, and there was some worry and some fear, a lot of fear around birth. And I remember going over getting induced and all this kind of thing. And in my observation, by the 3rd or 4th, even by the 2nd session, I actually saw you. I saw if I could like rate your stress levels and your tension, I would say session 1, it was up here. Session 2, it was session 3, and then it just went down and down. And then by the end, just before you had your baby, when you were past 40 weeks, we did a little yoga nidra session together, didn't we? And you came out to the land, and we had a lovely little session, and then you had your baby soon after. So just, if you want to just give me a little recap and tell me how it all went, and how you felt coming up to your due date, and how it felt going over, and what you had to basically deal with.
So like you said, I think I was holding on to a lot of trauma from my first daughter, because I was induced at 40 plus 10, I think, with her, and she came at 41 weeks, and it was just, I mean, it was fine, as in, you know, I was, the pessary finally went in. I started 9 o'clock on the Tuesday evening. I started having contractions on the Wednesday tea time, and then she was born at 10 o'clock on the Thursday evening. But I was in hospital all that time, and, you know, didn't know what to expect, didn't know how the contractions or the surgeries were going to feel. And I just didn't want that same experience again. You know, I wanted to go into labour spontaneously. I wanted to enjoy, as silly as that might sound, I wanted to enjoy the feeling of spontaneous labour, of having the surges, of the intensity getting more and more. So that's why I was adamant that I didn't want to be induced. And also with my first pregnancy, Mark and I were able to probably pinpoint the weekend that we conceived. So then at my 12-week scan in my first pregnancy, they brought my due date forward by 6 days from the date that Mark and I thought that our baby would be due. So actually with my first pregnancy, by the time I was induced and Iona was born, I still think it was a week. I still think I had another week to go, you know? So I wanted to see what my body could do this time, you know? And it was the best thing. It was the best thing not being induced and doing the hypnobirthing and the yoga nidra, actually, you know. I had a really second pregnancy. I had a fairly okay pregnancy. The only symptoms I really had was some sciatica. You know, it's certainly very different being pregnant in a pandemic and with a toddler at home compared to the first time. Self-care didn't really happen. So I think,
and I remember you were working from home for the whole pregnancy as well.
That's
in front
right.
of a computer.
That's it. So that wasn't great for your posture and things like that. And you know, if I'd have been in the office, then it'd been a more comfortable chair, you know. But I think because I wasn't able to really do any self-care, you know, which is something that people really promote when you're pregnant, isn't it? I think that's what the hypnobirthing did for me, and the yoga nidra, and finishing work at 38 weeks was a very sensible decision as well. You know, I could have carried on working because we were working from home, but I was done, you know. So the hypnobirthing was great, especially the book you gave me, Calm Birthing Stories, I think it's called.
Calm. What is it again? The Calm Birth School.
That really helped me realize how many women out there, you know, have long pregnancies, 42, 43, 44 weeks, you know, and how empowering home births can be.
Yeah.
You know,
and I remember telling you that, you know, especially based on your previous pregnancy, you can be assured if you went over, you're probably a 10-month mum.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
we have this thing that pregnancy is 9 months, but if you calculate it all, and, you know, it's such a big range. Pregnancy is not, it can be 10 months easy. And many women go to 10 months. And especially considering your first was past 42 weeks, or maybe because the due date was probably wrong, but that, you know, you your body might just do that, might just carry your babies a little bit longer.
So the hypnobirthing really helped me understand and realize what a woman's body can do during pregnancy and during labor, you know, and what you can do then to help that, and sort of mentally prepare yourself as well. You know, the biggest thing is like the breathing really helped me massively. You know, I would practice it in the shower. I would, silly as it sounds, because there's two types of breathing, isn't there? Breathing through the surges, and then the other breathing to help block out noise in your environment, just so you can get in your birthing zone. And I would actually do that at night when I was in bed, because my partner snores quite a lot. So I would actually practice that second type of breathing in bed to try and block out his snoring.
Well, the good thing about it is it's not just for birth, it's for life.
Yeah, exactly.
Breathing is for life. That's brilliant. I love that.
Yeah.
Now, I remember we had like two breakthrough moments, like that I missed these two moments in the sessions we had together that I remember and like really stood out to me. And I told you about them, I think on our last session. And it was all to do with your partner getting, what's your husband's name again?
Mark,
yeah. To do with getting Mark involved. And one of them was because at the end of the session, we do a little bit of a hypnobirthing script and we get you to relax. And for the first session, he did it with you because I wanted him to learn how to relax, and I wanted him to feel and understand it and experience it. But the second session, I got him to just practice a bit of light touch massage on your feet. And you know, he's quite a funny guy. He's quite like a joker, and you know, and I saw this softness, this like, and I think that was the moment I actually saw you relax. It was almost as though you felt really held by him. And often when we're pregnant, we can feel quite alone, even though we might have family around, you know, because you feel as though no one's really getting how you're feeling. And it just was this beautiful moment. And I like, it's like this snapshot in time I have in my head, you know, and my heart, of him just massaging your feet. And that was one of the first times I saw you really just be able to like settle and just feel safe and held.
Definitely.
And the other time, the second really powerful moment for me was when we asked Mark how he thought you did for your first labor, because oftentimes we remember things, you know, we remembered how we remember it. It was difficult, it went a certain way. And from what you told me, I was blown away. Your stamina and how far you went, like what you achieved in that labor was spectacular. And when you heard it through his words, from his perspective, I think that gave you a lot of confidence.
Yeah, it did.
And I think that made you, he had never said it before, and that was one of the first times you were able to hear actually how he felt and what he thought of your efforts, for want of a better word, what you actually achieved with that first labor. Because even though it didn't go how you had wanted it to go, you were induced and it was very difficult, I think he was quite blown away by you and how amazing you did. And I think those two moments were massive. They were massive. I just saw it, and it's something you can't write in a book, you can't teach. It was just this organic thing. It was quite spontaneous when I asked him to massage your feet during the script, and they just seem to really just connect you two and make him realize how important his role as a birthing partner and as a partner during pregnancy was. And I felt like that was one of the things that supported you.
Definitely, I agree. He told me how proud he was of me, which he'd never said before. You know, our daughter's 3 now, so he'd never said that. So that was really nice to hear. And when he was massaging my feet, I could feel like energy coming away from my body, you know, which I think was probably all the negative energy I was holding on to. So those 2 moments definitely helped.
And I think
without
it helped in healing some of the stuff that was going on for you due to the first birth, and like to help you like start to move on and refocus on your present and the upcoming birth story. That was really beautiful, really powerful.
And I was really pleased that Mark engaged with the hypnobirthing as well, because there's people that know him knows that it's not really his sort of thing, and like you say, he's a funny, sarcastic guy. So it was nice to have his support with that, for sure, and to have his support with
we just froze. What happened there? You just froze.
Yeah, we're back.
Okay. The last sentence you said was his support with
just his support with wanting a home birth and not being induced. That it was really important that he supported me with that, and he was happy with whatever I wanted, which was really good. Really good.
No, he's quite a sweet guy, I have to say.
He does have a soft side.
I definitely saw throughout the sessions his soft little sensitive side coming out. So that was really, really, really beautiful. And so he has his own little way of supporting you. And it's just as we were talking about how your birth partner, or that person who loves you, knows you best. It's like I can have a script of things for him to tell you during labor, and it just means nothing if it's not from him. He knows what to tell you. He knows the things that would make you laugh, or the silly things to say that just might actually get you out of any kind of fear response you're having or any tension. But anyway, so coming up to your birth, when you went into labor, you were 42 weeks?
42 in a day, yeah.
Lovely. So let's say, how was that period past 40 weeks?
So I mean, it was fine. I felt really calm and relaxed about my decision not to be induced, and about my decision just to wait and see what was happening. I had a consultation with an obstetrician, and we decided that at 40, so I was 42 weeks on the Friday. So on the Monday, I think I can't remember that week, either the Monday or the Tuesday was the consultation with the obstetrician, and that day I had a scan just to check everything was okay, which I was happy to do because I was there at the hospital anyway, and the estimated baby was going to be £10.10. It's hard to do a scan that late.
£10.10, is that what they said?
That's what they estimated with the scan,
And how big was baby?
She was £9.9 born.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was the Monday or the Tuesday. Then I was going to come in on the Saturday for a CTG, listen to baby's heart, etc. And then on the Monday, they booked me in for an induction. So I would have been 42 plus 5. And I agreed to the induction just to get the appointment over and done with, but I still don't know if I would have gone for it. I don't know. But as it was on the Friday, I woke up on the Friday morning. So it was Friday the 13th of August. And I didn't feel quite right. It was quite achy, quite tired. My father-in-law turned up to pick my daughter up to take her to nursery because I found driving really hard at that late stage. And I thought I was having surges. I wasn't sure, and didn't really say anything because my father-in-law was there, and he would have been like straight out the door without my daughter. So I started monitoring the surges, and by 8:30 I was like, yes, I'm definitely having surges. They were 2.5 minutes apart.
And this is in the morning, 8:30
This is in the morning, yeah. By 8:30 I've been having them for half an hour, 2.5 minutes apart. So I phoned the triage number, etc. Then the midwives came. So it was one of the NUCI midwives and a midwife from Camborne, because the other NUCI midwives had been on a home birth during the night, so sadly my midwife couldn't come.
Yeah, because you were planning a home birth, weren't you?
I was planning a home birth. Yeah, I had a pool, planning a home birth. Yeah, that's what I wanted. So the midwives came about, 9:30, 10, something like that. Contractions were still the same. So we set the pool up and then sadly, even though we'd done a test run, the washer for the tap, the adapter to fit the hose, wouldn't fit any of our taps, so we couldn't actually fill the pool.
Oh no.
I know, which was a shame, but actually Amber, the midwife, the NICU midwife, she like led on the birth. She examined me and was kind of like, well, I don't think that even if we can get water in the pool, I don't think we'll have time, by the way that I was going.
Well, you will. How many centimeters did you say you were?
I was still only 3 centimeters, but due to how I was expressing that, my pain and the intensity of the surges, so we obviously took the pool down, and I felt fine with that. Because the main thing was going into labour spontaneously.
Absolutely, and you did it. That was like
exactly.
massive.
So, and I had the whole run of like the lounge floor. We cleared out all the toys and everything, so I had space to move around. I sat on my ball for a bit when I was having surges, and I also, the main position I was in was on my knees, leaning on my sofa, rocking my hips as I was having surges, which really helped. And Mark was rubbing my back, and that really, really helped. So that they pretty much stayed at 2.5 minutes, but they got more and more intense as the morning went on. And I had no clue what the time was, because I just wanted it. I wanted it to be dark. I had my eyes closed. Thankfully, I'd managed to eat a sausage sandwich at like 8. At 8:15, I managed to eat a sausage sandwich, and that was the last thing I had to eat.
So you weren't starving?
No, I wasn't starving. Mark then through the morning was trying to make me have small sips of water, and I had some little, high sugar, like little flapjacks and just, sweets and things like that. But I started to feel quite sick.
Yeah.
Anyway, Amber examined me, and I wasn't dilating. Even though the surges were getting more intense, more painful. I couldn't have any, I didn't have any pain relief. I chose not to. And so it must have been lunchtime-ish, I don't really know. We started talking about, or Amber started talking about wanting to break my waters, because also baby wasn't moving either, like the head wasn't crowning or anything. So, which was the same with my first daughter, actually. She wasn't moving either. So we weighed up the options of breaking my waters at home, and the risks and benefits of that, versus then breaking my waters in hospital. And so that was at lunchtime. And then Amber said, well, let's give it another hour. Let's, try and get some fluid in, try and get some sugar in. And she put me in a position, almost like the fetal position on the sofa, to try and encourage baby to move.
Right. I was just about to ask you that, if she suggested any positions. Well done.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It was almost like the fetal position, to try and get baby.
Was she taking baby's heartbeat? Was she monitoring baby's heartbeat?
Yeah, periodically. I didn't have straps on. It was just the,
just the
Doppler. Is it called a Doppler?
Yeah.
But yeah, baby was fine. Baby wasn't distressed or anything, but I was starting to feel quite sick. Anyway, we made the decision to go into hospital and for them to break my waters in the hospital, purely because Amber said, I can break your waters here, but then if baby still doesn't move and you still don't dilate, then you'll have to go in an emergency situation, and with it being Friday in the middle of the summer with the traffic, and getting an ambulance is hard at the best of times, isn't it? So, and she said, I can't, all we can give you is gas and air. We can't give you anything else in terms of pain relief. She said, so it might be safer and nicer for you to go in a planned way, and that way, if you need further intervention, you can. And we just felt, although it wasn't necessarily the plan, I wanted a home birth. Actually, given the circumstances, that's what we felt, was the best decision for us.
Did you feel safer? Like, did that make you feel more relaxed? And when you made that decision to go into hospital, did you feel a bit more relaxed?
Yeah, I felt totally relaxed. I felt fully informed. Amber didn't put any pressure on me to make a decision either way. She's like, we'll support you either way with whatever your decision you decide. But yeah, we decided decided to go in, and in the end it was the best decision. So it was my father-in-law came and picked us up you're back.
Okay, I'm here. I heard your father-in-law. My internet connection seems to be unstable. Typical.
Okay.
I heard, your father-in-law.
So my father-in-law came and picked me up at 2:00. I didn't even realise it was that time,
And you started at around 8. That was when you started going to surgeries.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he picked us up at 2:00. So we got to Treliske at 2:30. And they broke my waters at around 4:30, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I went to delivery suite, not the birthing centre, and I had an amazing midwife. She was fairly young, but she was great with me. She was quite stern, but but not me. She told me what I needed to hear, basically. So they broke my waters around. By the time I got into the room and they put heart monitor on baby and etc., done all the checks I needed to do, etc. She did a sweep. I was still only 3 centimeters dilated. So they put one of those clips on baby's head, I think, eventually, and they broke my waters, and it was amazing. I literally felt my cervix just go like ping, and I went from 3 to 7 straight away as soon as they broke my waters.
Wow. So maybe it just gave baby's head a chance to just move into
and I could feel it. It was amazing. It was quite a nice feeling, actually, quite a nice sensation. And then my surgeries really wrapped up. Then I had 1 dose of pethidine, and apparently Mark said that when I was, obviously he could tell when the pethidine was working because I was being quite polite and with what I was saying and what I was doing, and then as the pethidine was wearing off, my language got a little bit bluer. So I did give birth on my back in the end because we were in the delivery suite, and the midwife did say I was eligible to go to the birthing centre, and I could have because there was a room free, but I was quite comfortable in the delivery. We were all set up. I was on a drip, and I didn't feel the need to move.
Well, that's really good that they offered you that. I'm impressed, and I'm happy to hear that. At least you were offered some options. Was there a reason why they were monitoring baby with the clip?
I can't remember, in all honesty. I think maybe because she wasn't moving and I was having surgeries, and I think eventually they took the CTG off. I can't really remember.
No problem.
Because I was before I left home, I was sick.
And how were you feeling at this stage? How were you managing the surgeries, like before the pethidine?
Still just doing the breathing, trying to block out the environment, and just concentrate on that. And also during the surgeries, because I tried to be on my side, Mark would press down on my legs, almost keeping my legs open for me, and massaging my thigh at the same time during a surge, which seemed to help. Because it seemed to sort of gravitate the pain and the focus to my leg and not the surge, if that makes sense.
And were you on your back at this point, or on your
sort of semi on my back, on my side?
A little bit off, like off your tailbone.
That's it. That's it. So they just ramped up, and then they didn't tell me. They must have kept the monitor on baby's heart, because I was told afterwards that baby's heart rate did dramatically drop. And that's when the midwife became quite stern and was like, "We need to get this baby out," because at this point I was sort of shouting, "Oh, I can't do it. I can't do it anymore. Get this baby out. Stop the pain," sort of thing. And she was eventually born at 7 minutes past 7. And the reason the heart rate dropped was because she'd got the umbilical cord around her neck. But again, they didn't tell me that. They didn't tell me that heart rate had dropped, and they didn't tell me the umbilical cord was around their neck.
So when she said, "Let's get this baby out," did they do anything to get the baby out? How did you manage to birth the baby?
They were just encouraging me to push, to concentrate on my breathing and to push. They didn't help in any way.
And how did you find the pushing, like a birthing stage?
I think because I had, with my first daughter, she was forceps delivered, so I didn't know how to push. I kept pushing, but I was letting my breath out rather than pushing. So she said, no, push, like you need to go to the toilet, you know, like you need to have a poo basically. And when I did do that, I was like, oh, it's actually quite easy and natural, isn't it? You know, and you can feel baby's head coming, can't you? You can feel everything. It's fantastic.
Oh my God, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And how did that moment feel? Because like,
it
can be
amazing.
so intense, you know, if you think of it as painful, like, you know, they have all these things. But for me, at least, something about that feeling of getting that, like, of that baby moving through, as intense as it is, it's really powerful, isn't it?
It really is. Yeah, it is. She asked me, so baby's head was crowning, and I think that's when they realised the umbilical cord was around it. She asked me if I wanted to touch baby's head, and I said, I semi-regret it now, but I said no, because I just wanted the baby out.
Yeah.
You know, so another couple of pushes, and then when you feel that head come out, you don't really feel the shoulders, do you? It's the head you feel. Once the head was out, the pain just goes instantly.
I know, it's just incredible.
Yeah.
Oh, well
so
done.
it was.
And did you find you had to forcefully push, or did you find that, like, you know, just sort of, you know, I feel as though there's a different sort of, there's a range of kind of degrees, you know, of like how you need to breathe. Some women can just breathe that baby out really calmly. Some women just need to like have this moment where they're like, right, and actually, like,
no, I think, you know, I was the like second one.
Push it out, really, like, get it out.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely the second. But that's okay, isn't it? That's you know, that's how it goes.
Oh my God!
But it was probably
baby
2 or
out,
3.
like you were just, and you were kind of on your back at this point.
Yeah.
And did you feel like any kind of restriction, or like where were your legs? Were your legs kind of just open, or?
Yeah, my legs were open. They didn't put them in stirrups or anything.
And were you? I'm asking all these questions.
It's okay.
Was there like anything under your pelvis, like any support, like pillows? Or anything like
I think I had a cushion under the small of my back. I think. Again, I can't really.
It's
remember. I know Mark was definitely holding my legs down, which was helpful. You know, sounds restrictive, but it wasn't in the moment.
Well, it could actually help to bring your energy down, like that downward energy, and make you feel grounded and supported. So like, that's where you want to go down, when baby coming down. How wonderful. So baby came to that intense feeling, right? And you managed to push him out. So you found when you closed your mouth, and that helped, like if you're doing a poo, right? Some people don't like that analogy. I love it. I think it's great.
It is. Well, no, but that's the best. It's absolutely the best way to describe it, because that's the pushing you have to do, isn't it?
Did you manage to practice that breath before labour, like on the toilet? Because that was where you were sort of meant to practice it, on the toilet.
Oh,
like
no, I didn't actually.
Breathing out.
No.
Yeah. Did we do that in hypnobirthing?
I can't remember.
We should have done it.
Yeah, maybe we should have
done it.
Yeah.
No, I feel like we did it. I hope we didn't. I didn't forget to do it with you. Yeah, because I would have gone through. Yeah, because that was that's you practiced on the toilet, but like, sounds like you just did it, because in the end, everything we're learning is what you already know. You already know it. You know, once the whole point is being able to birth instinctively.
Definitely.
So, and like having the support of a good midwife. So it's sending the pressure downward.
The midwife was great, you know, during the birth, during the labour and the birth. Yeah, like I said, she's fairly young, but she was quite stern with me, but in a reassuring, supportive way, you know, because she needed to be.
Yeah,
you
lovely.
Know.
And did you find you felt panicked at all, or stressed, or
never?
Did you find you? Oh, brilliant.
No.
And you felt comfortable to voice how you felt?
Absolutely, yeah, because all the way through, especially when I was at home with Amber, I felt fully informed, and that's the main thing, isn't it?
Absolutely.
You need to be fully informed of the risks and benefits of everything, and then you can make a decision about what's best for you and your baby.
Cool. And so once the head came through, did baby just come straight out, or?
Yeah, she just slid straight out. Yeah, straight on my chest for skin to skin. Yeah. Yeah, it was fantastic.
Incredible. So then there's the third stage, the placenta. How did that go?
Yeah, I birthed that about half an hour later. I think I ended up having an injection to help bring it along, because I actually lost a lot of blood as well. I lost over 1.5 liters of blood, so I think they wanted the placenta out so they could, tend to me. But yeah, that was fine. The midwife commented on how big the placenta was. Yeah. So yeah, that bit was fine. I didn't care after that because I had the baby on me, which is just so magical moment, isn't it?
Oh my God. And you did it. You went into labor spontaneously. You breathed through the surges. I mean, like, what an amazing achievement.
Yeah, it really was. I feel really proud of myself.
Yeah, me too. And things, honestly, in this day and age, to go past 42 weeks is that in itself is a massive achievement. It is a massive thing, just to go past 42 weeks. So I just think to have that strength and that courage to say no, or to say this is how I'm going to do it, is incredible. And it can put you in touch with this part of you that is like this fire inside of you that
definitely
can do anything.
And I did my research, I did my reading around the benefits of being induced versus not, versus the benefits of letting your body go into labor naturally, and it isn't for everyone. If people choose to be induced, that's their decision, isn't it? But something the obstetrician at our consultation did say was, well, she kind of focused on my age a little bit, because I'm going to be 39 in a few weeks. And I was like, oh, come on,
honestly.
yeah.
I know.
So oh, hold on.
Oh, there she is.
There she is. 2 seconds.
Beautiful. Let's have a quick look. Oh my goodness. Hello. And she was 9 pounds 9 when she was born?
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, so a nice healthy weight.
Well, you know what, man? Good. Well done. Because, it's so often I hear, oh, big baby. And it's another stress of like, it's going to be a big baby. And I mean, I just think a big baby, big deal.
Yeah, totally.
Your body grows that baby to the size it can birth. What an amazing achievement. I'm so happy for you. I'm so proud of you. And how do you feel? What do you feel like it's done for you as a woman, or as an individual? Do you feel like
I just feel really empowered. It's just amazing what we can do as women, isn't it? It's I mean, falling pregnant is an achievement and an amazing thing in itself, and then the fact that you grow this other human being inside you, it's just even second time round, I'm sure for you even third time round, like, it's just phenomenal.
Absolutely.
Isn't it?
Absolutely. I just look at my body and I'm like, my God, the body went boop, 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 all different kind of directions. it's what our bodies do. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah, it is.
Power, and the pure power of birth is just unbelievable.
Yeah. And I've got some stretch marks this time on my belly, which I didn't have first time around. But I'm really proud of them.
Yeah. Good.
And I call them, like, I think I read or saw on a social media post that someone calls them their battle scars.
Absolutely. I mean, that is you. That is what your body did. You grew a baby. Exactly. I still look at it and I just think, 3 babies later, I look at pregnant women and I just think it is amazing.
It is. It really is. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so happy for you. I'm so proud of you.
No, but thank you. The hypnobirthing, and I think the yoga nidra as well. Just having that space to, I think, like I said to you afterwards, because it was sort of, it's kind of like meditation, isn't it? And I was listening to you with the words you were saying, and I was trying to talk to baby in my head, and actually my thoughts and mind went to Harry Potter. I don't know why. I don't know
so
why.
Funny. I thought about that this morning because my sons were saying they wanted a Harry Potter costume for Halloween, and I was just laughing. I was thinking about you with your Harry Potter.
Yeah. But it was having that space to just let your mind, you know, that's what it's about, isn't it? Just not thinking about anything and just letting your mind relax. And
oh my God,
lots of you know saying hello.
Hello, so cute. Oh my God, amazing.
Lots of people commented on how much more relaxed I seemed after that. You know, as well.
Well done.
But yeah, I feel really well, like you say, on that Facebook group, the 10-month mama group. I'm trying to be supportive of other women that are going through the same thing, you know.
Absolutely. And you know what, because I'm on that group, obviously, I every now and then I'll see your posts and your comments, and I just think that is what it's about. It's about women supporting women. It's about, you know, what we go through and just making each other feel that we're not alone. You're not the first woman who's gone past 42 weeks. You won't be the last, you know. And in every different situation, there's so many of us that go through it. And then it leads you to ask the question. So it's not really abnormal, isn't it? You know, it's not that abnormal to carry your baby to this gestation period. So
definitely not.
So well done. You did it.
Thank
you went
you.
into labor spontaneously. You birthed that baby. I know you didn't get a home birth that you wanted, but I think you did amazing.
Yeah, and I don't
think you did incredible. And in the end, an empowered birth is a birth where you felt that you were listened to.
Absolutely.
And you made the decisions. And it sounds like everyone around you supported you to make your own decisions. And I'm really, really happy to hear that.
Yeah, they did. And that's the main thing. You said it, you know, it's an empowered birth and an informed birth, you know, and that's what hypnobirthing teaches you as well, isn't it? Is to go with the circumstances that you're presented with at that time, you know. And yes, it's nice to have a plan, but, you know, you've got to do what's right in the moment. You
Absolutely.
know?
And parenting is just like that anyway.
Yeah. Absolutely.
This is how today is going to go. Actually, no, that's not how today is going to go.
100%.
Oh, brilliant. Oh. So just quickly, I'll just ask you, and we kind of spoke about the postnatal period before.